Hello everybody, Hardcore here, and this is the Walking Dead Survival Instincts video game review. This game was released on March 19, 2013 for the Wii U, Xbox 360, and PlayStation 3 consoles. In this game, you'll play as Daryl Dixon, and there will occasionally be a little bit of Merle Dixon, your brother in the story. This is based off the AMC Walking Dead, not so much the comic book series. One thing I should point out is that at the time of this game's release, there was no reviews for this game online anywhere to be found. So it was really just up to Walking Dead fans or casual game buyers to decide if this game was worth buying. Things you should have noticed off the bat, besides the fact there's no reviews, was on AMC's Walking Dead this past Sunday and all the Sundays prior, there really was no advertisements for it. Hell, there haven't been any advertisements or even nods of this game since the freaking video game awards ceremony that was on, I believe it was Spike TV, when the Telltale game won the Game of the Year. And that should worry you, as should the $49 price tag. But I'm going to get into the game, all the goods and bads about the game, and I'm going to break it down if this game's worth buying, or if you should wait until the price tag drops down a bit. So let's hop right into it, shall we? So one of the things this game mainly talks about is that this is a game that is based off of stealth. It isn't like Left 4 Dead or Left 4 Dead 2 or any of the games like Dead Rising, where you could just basically run through herds of zombies. Well, I don't want to sound too wrong about that. You technically can run through the herds of zombies. Hell, you can run through most of the zombies without too much conflict. The only time you're going to run into any real trouble is if they grapple you, which is, the grapple system is a messy system at that. It is probably one of the most annoying things about the game, especially when you have like up to 20-30 zombies surrounding you, because then it's just a never-ending shitstorm. But so most of the game, you're going to have your hunting knife, which is generally useless. You just use it for executions, and should you actually be using it to fight with, this will be a rather ineffective weapon, as stabbing items to the head in this game do not do much. Otherwise, you'll have weapons. Firing is a bad idea, as shooting a gun will basically attract all the zombies to you, and once zombies know you're there, it is very difficult, if not near impossible, for them to unaggro in terms of video game terms, and it just becomes a shitstorm again. Throughout the game, you get different weapons. You got different melee weapons, baseball bats, sledgehammers, lead pipes. You get different weapons. You have pistols, from revolvers, full automatic pistols, shotguns, from pumped double barrel shotguns. You'll also have assault rifles, bolt action rifles, even snipers, and then of course Daryl's trademark crossbow. Until you get the crossbow, really, everything you do will attract noise, and you're going to have a ton of zombies running in your direction. But other than that, the combat in the game, a lot of it can be avoided if need be, and there will be points in the game where you'll simply just have to run past zombies and hope you don't go down the wrong way. Throughout the game, you will run into survivors. They're basically side quests where you could actually have them accompany you. And when you start an actual story mission, you could have them go off and search for food, search for gas, search for ammo, or they could just stay at the car and not be any use to you. And you have to give them weapons accordingly, and depending on how many survivors you have out at a time is the chance of survival later in the game. Early in, one survivor will be fine. Later in, sending one survivor out, even with the best weapons, will be suicide. The zombies themselves are not really smart in terms of AI. A lot of them will run at you single file and be easy to take down with a well-placed shotgun blast, or if you use, I actually found in the herd mode, which is the equivalent of the horde mode, that certain weapons will quick scope onto their heads, especially the semi-automatic bolt action rifle. So there's a lot of things like that where you can use it to your favor if you play the game, but ultimately the AI in this game is very clunky in terms of that regards. I did have some moments where they did get stuck, but I mean that could fall under the reason of just simply being zombies and being stupid. But all in all, the AI in this game is not very as threatening as they are in some of the other zombie games like Left 4 Dead or Dead Rising. Because in those games, the zombies can actually climb up to you, they can actually hit you. The game was built around thinking that players would get the high area where they could easily pick off zombies. The creators of this game clearly did not do that. It almost feels like that the game creators were either inexperienced at doing this, or it was simply that the game itself was just hastily put together There are a lot of glitches in here besides the AI. There's one situation I recorded where actually the enemy just simply disappeared off screen, which it speaks for itself. So I'm sure you're curious about the story. The story is basically Daryl's father and Merle's father gets killed at the beginning of the game. Daryl goes to find his brother, who is actually semi-insane, shooting at a bunch of innocent survivors. And you encounter a crazy doctor who is trying to find a cure, and you have to choose between saving somebody you saved early in the game or working with the doctor. I went with saving the random personally, and he ended up becoming a good scavenger later in the game, so if you do get it, you might want to consider that. But basically, you get your crossbow. Merle is out to get his drug stash from his former biker gang, and you're just chasing Merle across Atlanta, and that is literally what the game is about, is you chasing your brother. I wish I could lie and say there's something better in terms of the story than that, but that is the cold hard truth. That is what they're giving you for a prequel to The Walking Dead from Daryl and Merle's perspective, is you have your brother chasing drugs and you're just chasing after him. If you happen to have pre-ordered this game from GameStop, you have access to what is called Herd mode, which is literally just horde mode, where you just face waves of walkers that come at you. I'm not even gonna lie, it was a very forgettable experience. All they pretty much did was they took a level from the story mode and just threw you in it, and the walkers came at you. You have a ton of ammo, which is excellent. There's a ton of health, but the walkers will eventually overwhelm you as per horde mode. It was really not even that great of a pre-order, and I imagine it'll be released as a DLC later on. I wouldn't even recommend purchasing it, to be absolutely honest with you, as there are no specific achievements for it. So if you're an achievement hunter, there's nothing there for you. If anything, you may kill 10-20 minutes. In terms of ratings, I give the graphics a 7 out of 10. They're basically last year's graphics. They're nothing really impressive looking at all. I'm going to give the sound a 8 out of 10. It had, thankfully, Daryl and Merle's voice actors from the TV show. If they changed that, this game would have actually been a lot worse in my eyes, and especially the Walking Dead fans. But they actually were able to bring in the voice actors, which did help the game out a bit. The story, I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10. The story was very unengaging. I honestly, the whole time I played, I could have given two craps about what was going on in the game. And overall, I'm going to give the game a 5 out of 10. I'm not even going to lie to you guys. This is a very skippable game. I wouldn't recommend picking it up. If you want this game, I'd say wait for it to go down in price. Like, wait for it to go out of price cut at a store, or go buy it pre-owned, because there's no online code to play this game. There was a reason why Activision kept silent about this game, and there's a reason why there was no TV ads about it. This game was a forgettable game. There was nothing really enticing or really special about it or unique. It didn't bring anything to the table like Telltale's Walking Dead game. This is just basically a run-of-the-mill hack-and-slash zombie game with a subpar plot, and it just basically has a title, Walking Dead, and characters from The Walking Dead that we know and love, thrown into a game world that is basically bland against clunky enemies and with consequences in story that don't matter. It just equals a very boring game. Thank you guys for watching. Please rate, like, subscribe, leave a comment below, and I will see you guys in my next video. Peace.